Hello, dollies, and it was a big night indeed last night. We had our online webinar get together and make a doll session, and we had a lot of fun, and it was a dream come true for me because we all shared ideas and I actually learnt so much and we got to show each other our projects. So this is the view of myself teaching from my perspective. So I'm showing you the main steps to make your spirit doll, and in the second half it's me this morning finishing her off, speaking very quietly. Enjoy. Hello dollies, it's Maria Doll here, and we are currently live on the webinar, but I thought I'd do a quick video to show you actually the easy steps to make her the spirit doll by the fabulous Terri Vancil. How do I say your name? Vancil?
Yeah.
Vancil.
Yes.
And so the first step you need, dollies, is to download that fabulous pattern and get your fabric wrong side. So you fold it in half. So the right side is the bit with the print on and the wrong side is the other bit. You're just going to draw around the edge, and another fabulous doll maker, Holly, who's on the call now as well, recommends to cut the pattern out in plastic so it's easier to draw around. That's a great idea, so you can do that. And here I've just simply drawn around the pattern with my best friend, invisible pen. Dollies, do you love invisible pens?
That's what I'm using.
I'm never without my best two, my two top tools, invisible pen and stuffing forceps. Do you love these?
Many.
Oh, there we go. We've all got this. Okay, we got this. So dollies, you're going to go away and do this bit, and I'll see you on the next step. Oh yes, and we do not sew between there and there on the head so that we can turn that bit. Okay.
I'm worried that my fabric might be a little thick for turning.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Hello dollies, we are on stage 2 of making the doll's body. So here we're live. Here I've just stitched all around her, and what you need to do now is just cut around with about 4mm seam allowance. Okay, and one of our participants has just said she's a bit worried about how thick her fabric is and if it's going to turn well or not. So that's something that you need to consider. I suppose the only way to find out is to try. This fabric that I'm using here is a thicker linen actually than the fabric I originally used for my first one. So we'll just see and find out. So I'll see you in the next bit. Okay, step 3, there we go. I've just cut around the doll and I have snipped the, what are these called? The hairpin bends. The neck, if you watch my other doll videos, we do this every time. Under the arm, and excuse me, but we need to do the crotch as well. And then get some PVA glue, or what's it called? Your stitch fabric glue, is it?
Fray check?
Thingy check.
Yeah, we call it fray check. So
Fray, yeah,
fray
it's called Fray Stop, the one I've got. Or you can use Fray Stop, okay? But I'm all up for being cheap and cheerful. This is going to make your doll, if you're turning it, it saves the holes. Sometimes the stitch can go through. So just a little bit. Do you do it on both sides, Terri, or just one? I'm going to do both, being as we're here.
It depends on how,
Yeah.
how I feel. You normally
you
put it
feel?
in between the fabric.
Right. Okay.
It depends on
Yeah.
the fabric, really.
Yeah, if it's thin or... Because the fabric I'm using...
Definitely make sure to back stitch.
Yeah, oh, definitely back
Under
stitch.
the arms and in the crotch, always back stitch. Make sure you don't blow your seams.
Yeah, don't blow your seams, dollies. This is really important. So as you can see there, I have just reinforced with a little bit of glue here, 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 and because I'm using quite a thick linen, I've done it on both sides. Ideally, you need to wait until it dries, don't you, before turning. Dum 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 dum. But I'm just going to turn. So this is the next step. I'm just going to have faith that it's going to be okay. So the first thing I do with turning is I go into the hand. I go into the hand, and as I put on my website actually, my friend's a nurse and they've got these forceps just hanging around. They use them once and throw them away.
I know, what a shame.
I know, right? So I took one. There we go, you can see that I've just pulled that through. So the same again, we're going to go into, yeah, into there. And beak through. How are you getting on with yours, Holly?
I'm just doing some more backstitching.
She's backstitching, good girl, that's what we like. Backstitch, dollies, that's really important. No regrets. Backstitch. That's a tip, that's a life hack. Okay, and now, obviously without the stuffing tool, the forceps, it just takes ages and it's really annoying. So, but you get there in the end. This doll's got nice thick limbs, so she should be quite easy to stuff, to turn either with your fingers or with a chopstick. Okay, so that's leg number 1, and finally here leg number 2. Whoops. Then I put all of these video snippets together in iMovie, which I'm learning how to use at the moment. Right, so then it ends up looking a little bit like this. Do you get that? It looks a little bit like this, and then what you have to do is turn.
Getting some weirdness on my end here.
Are you getting weirdness? What, on the screen? There we go. I'm turning. That's why you need to leave some space on the crown chakra there. Okay, coming through. It's a little bit like a birthing process here. We're going through the birthing channel, and eventually, ta-da! You get something like that looks like a bit like a glove. And luckily, my fabric has behaved really beautifully. There, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Okay, Skinny Dolly, meet your sister. Hi. So there. Now the next thing you want to do is just get your finger and you're just going to press out the seam like that.
Being a poop.
What's that?
There we go.
So I'm just going to finger press the seam so then it's, oh, you know, guys, this fabric's really lovely for this project. It behaves beautifully. This one was a tiny bit too thin, but lovely. It's a gorgeous print. But this one, it feels more like an heirloom kind of doll. That's really, really nice. So
My fabric is a bit stiff.
Is it too stiff, Holly? Your one?
I think so. This is a home deck weight
Yeah.
fabric. And
Yeah, it looks like an upholstery fabric. So what what I'm doing here is I've got the beak of my my turning tool. You can use scissors or you can use a rounded object, and I'm just pressing out the seams here so that because when you first turn it, it looks like that, and then we just press it out with either your finger, because this pattern's big enough to do that, or I'm just pushing it out that way. See, then we get a nice rounded edge, and likewise I'm just going to do that here on the hand. Gorgeous, she's looking gorge. There she is. There we go. And then when she's, there we go, nice and turned. Nice and turned. And then you need a cloud. Toy stuffing. And then I'm just going to start stuffing her. What kind of stuffing do you use, guys?
I have a polyester.
Polyester, yeah,
Fiberfill.
Fiberfill. That's what I'm using. It's got a lovely squishy quality to it, hasn't it? I really like to upcycle old duvets, but the stuffing is quite difficult to use. There we go, we're stuffing. And I just think this doll is a lovely gift. It's because it's so quick to make. It doesn't feel like such a big gift. Do you know what I mean? Like if I've taken ages to make a doll, I find it quite difficult to give her away or give him away.
I had a hard time partying with that kitchen witch.
With which one?
The kitchen witch that I made for my daughter.
Oh, that's just gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Yeah, I really miss some of the dolls I've given away in the past. So I've just decided this amazing thing to not sell, or okay, I'm going to give dolls away that are made for gifts, but I'm going to keep them and I'm going to write stories with my dolls, and they're going to be the illustrations. That's why I'm making the whole backgrounds to them as well, like in situ, their scenes. And then that means I don't have to sell or give my dolls away, and that's just answered and solved. You see that lovely stuffing's coming through. That's just solved all the problems, and I think that's a brilliant solution. Now this doll here, I'm actually stuffing her entirely. Okay, so she's going to be an all-in-one, what some doll makers describe as a pillow doll. Have you guys heard of that term? A pillow doll? And now the difference between that and this is why it's handy. Here's one I made earlier. Sometimes I just stitch across the hips and the arms so that the doll can sit. So I'll show you what I mean. So here I learned that on the Tilda dolls. So I stuffed the legs and then I stitched across so then she can sit, and also I stitched across the hands. I'll show you guys here. I stuffed, if you want your dolly to sit on a shelf or on a bed, stuff the legs, stitch across like the knicker line or the pant line, and then carry on stuffing. Then she's going to sit. Alternatively, with this one, I just want her just to be how she is. I just want her to be as is. So I'm going to carry on, and then I can compare and contrast. Like for example, I might next time around do her arms a little bit higher. The underarm bit, I might do that a bit higher. So there. Yeah, you know, I got this idea because somebody once emailed me and said, oh, I wished you lived closer to me, then we could make together. And I just thought, yay, we can just do it online. We can just use technology, because I used to know somebody that used to use a Skype call and they'd have a sewing session together, but she lived in Scotland and the other one lives down here. And they just made their projects and just chatted, and I just thought that's such a lovely idea.
I've done that when I do my Christmas ornaments. I'll get
do you?
a friend of mine. She's in New Mexico, and
yeah.
I'm here in Maine.
Oh, brilliant!
We'll just work on our projects and show. And
oh, brilliant! That's brilliant. Okay, so I've got a bit of a disaster. I stitched a bit too close, and she's got some BO issue coming in. We've got a broken seam here. What did you call it? A seam pop. And she's even got hairy armpits.
I'm having to release my seams fabric is too stuffed.
Really, what do you mean by releasing your seams?
So because I went around twice and
Yeah.
backstitched in those corners,
Uh-huh.
it's too rigid.
Yeah.
So I had to release a couple of stitches so that I could finish opening the appendage.
I see. I see. So I'm not going to worry too much about the armpit explosion here. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to stitch it.
Just dab a bit of glue and clamp it down, and it'll be fine.
I'm just gonna stitch reinforce both of them so that they're both
So that was
on the
that
same.
was a design flaw.
It was
It should be rounded. More rounded,
Yeah, I mean, I did eventually edit the pattern a little bit, but what I'm going to do is take the arm up a little bit and round it off more. So I will do that. But that's the joy of just sampling the patterns, isn't it? Because I just always learn so much from making. There we go, dollies. So here. So then I'm just going to stitch, because we've got a hairy armpit explosion happening here. So I'm just going to stitch both of them, over-stitch them, and it'll be fine. So there is our doll. All you need to do next. What I've chosen to do here is I'm just pushing out the stuffing so that it's fairly flat, like that. So that then I can put there we go. I can put my face, there we go, over the top, like that. Actually, like that, so it's quite flat. Now, because once I've turned this doll actually, there is plenty of fabric around the circle, so maybe I could do the gather stitch, Terry. And I'm just talking to the doll mummy here who actually created her, so you're so lucky, dollies. This is all happening live. Do you think, Terry, that I can just gather? I think I can. I can do a gather stitch.
Yeah.
And
just gather around. Yeah.
Gather around, so like in and out, in and out. I'm going to gather around. I'm going to do this bit of the tutorial tomorrow because it's got dark here and that. But that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll stitch her down. But for now, that's that part. And then all you have to do is you can either iron, press down the rest of the circle here so that this bit is nice and straight. You can see that there. And then tuck in that bit. I just do it by hand, and then we're just going to do a whip stitch across. I don't worry too much about making.
I actually do a ladder stitch.
You do a ladder stitch, okay?
I do a ladder stitch in order to so the seams look exactly the same.
Okay. The dolly mummy has spoken, dollies. You've got to do a ladder stitch across that
You
bit.
can do anything you want.
You can do whatever you want, but respect the doll mum. Okay, do a ladder stitch.
You can glue it if you want to.
Yeah, you can glue it if you want to. I need a little bit more stuffing here for her, but that's going to be really fun, and I'll show you how to do that bit next. Okay. Hello, dollies. Here we have ladder stitching moment happening. So all you do, the reason why it's called a ladder stitch is because you sew in there, you go up to the top, move along to the other side, move along to the other side, and then when you pull, it pulls the two sides together so that you don't really see the top. So you can choose to do a ladder stitch or whatever kind of stitch you like. Hello, dollies. Have you slept well? Bit early, bit groggy. It's now the morning, and now I can show you what we were doing last night because it got very dark and we couldn't really see anything. I've just done a whip stitch across the top there. As I was explaining, one of the armpits has got hair coming out, so I just need to stitch that across, reinforce, and I may as well do the other underarm as well. So if that happens to you, as an underarm hair solution. And now for the face. I've just done a face, and you can see how to do a face on my how to do a face tutorial, which I'll connect to this one. So you essentially want to, also another thing I've decided to do is do it on the bias. So I've cut it on the cross, and then as Terry was telling us yesterday, what we're going to do is a running stitch. I'm just trying to find the end of it. There you go. There's the end. Okay, so I'm going to do a running stitch all around the edge, so that then, this is how she recommended it, because the way that I did the face last time is I just did a zigzag stitch around the cloth and then just stitched it on. So that's one way of doing it. If you're doing it in felt, again, you can do that. But because we're working the cloth here, we are working the cloth, I'm just going to see if this works. What do you think, my lovely geisha doll? I love geishas. I think they are living dolls. Absolutely, they're works of art. So, there we go. The mindful art of sewing. And then the idea is once I've done all the way around, I'm going to pull the strings, and somehow it's going to tuck under and give us a very nice circle shape. So let's see if that works. I'm not so sure. I'm not so good with fiddly stuff. I tend to prefer easy shortcuts. We're talking dolly hacks here. So let's just see. Okay, we're coming to the end of the circle. It's the circle of life, face, via the lips. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're not so comfortable drawing faces, you can print faces onto fabric. This is an amazing thing. So we at Maria's Doll School are going to provide some printable faces, discs, so that then you can just have your lovely face. That's really funny, isn't it? What do you think of your new face? Yes, I think I'm the wrong way around. I think you are. So there's a gather. Going to, you should see the way I'm doing this, it's really funny. I've got the iPad in front of me. It's so funny. Got this iPad in front of me and I'm working over it. So now it looks like the top of lid of a beer, the beer lid, doesn't it? Okay. Then I'm going to finger press. Because it's the middle of the night now in America, Terry's going to be asleep, so we can't ask her how to do this. So we had so much fun on the Dolly hangout. There ended up only being 3 of us in the end. But it was really nice because this was the dream that I had, that we all get together on a webinar. So then we can see each other and it's like being together, you see. Whereas if I just do a video like this, it's just one way, isn't it? But another suggestion I did receive from yesterday is to do a Facebook Live. So on a Facebook Live, what you can do is you can comment, and you can also, of course, post a photo of your work in progress. We could try that, dollies, so that hopefully the technology and the time difference isn't so much of a challenge. Hubby's woken up. Hi, doggy. Making it. So can you see, kind of, sort of, see, the idea is she's got to look round, so I'm not so sure. I'm going to give her Oh, that's really cute. I love that. So I'm going to give her a press and see if I can make that look any better. All right then. Dollies, I'm so excited. Look. I did it. I was pressing it out there. I was pressing it out and it was really, really hard. And then I thought, you know, like they do with patchwork, they get the shape underneath. So I cut a disc smaller and I pulled the strings and I ironed it. And look, this is now going to really work. Then, of course, what we're going to look at that. That's going to be amazing. So then what we need to do is take out the card. And all we're going to do is stitchy stitch. That just looks amazing. Look, we're going to stitch that on there. I'm going to lift it up so you can see it a bit better. Do you like your new face? Yeah, happy with that. Good job. Stitch around. See you next. Hello, dollies. And now here she is. As you can see, she's been stitched down. Flip pattern. What do you think? Yeah, you look a bit different, but I get it. So she's been stitched down, and then you've got a nice neat edge. So I just want to show you the difference. You can do that option or that option. All entirely up to you. Another thing is that you can iron on a backing onto the fabric as well that makes it a bit stiffer, that they use for applique. And that's another brilliant way of doing it. Now, finally, she needs some kind of hair decoration, doesn't she? So, what I normally do, just drop the iPad. What I normally do is I like to put bows and sort of flowers, and I like to make crochet flowers. I've got some half done here. But then I found the coolest ever idea. I've got a bag of pom-poms here. And look, and I just thought these two pom-poms here are just going to look fabulous. Let me show you that. Like this. So there she is. I'm just going to stitch those down. And there will be, but the basic idea is you can do whatever you want with your embellishment. That's the fun, creative bit. So now she looks like those cool Japanese dolls. I don't know what they're called, but there she is. There's her body. Nice and simple. I think this one's nice and simple with just the lovely face and the ears, but you can go as embellished or as simple as you like. So if you have any questions, let me know. Bye for now.